ready for this? For my intro?
Let's go.
I'm getting so fucking good at this.
Dude, I'm so stoked.
I'm the fucking worst.
You're from it. You got it.
Walking Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals. They're about to make that very clear.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Walking Blind podcast, the podcast where we like to normalize checking in on your homies. This is episode 103, and we have a very we have awesome guests here today. From the band Coldview, we have our boy Cameron and David. Also, I'm Mike, and that is also Mike.
I'm here.
But yeah, dude, we appreciate you guys coming out. You guys came along. You guys are probably our longest traveling guests.
Oh, for real?
Well, David is.
David,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, David is.
I live down the street, basically.
That's cool, man.
Nice little commute from, what you said, like LAX area?
Yeah, like I'm from the Culver City area, so
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I guess Michael Ahora came out from
Oh, that's right.
LA area, Pasadena area, I think. West Hollywood.
It's only like 60 miles, but it's just like the traffic's just so
Yeah.
congested.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you making that drive, man.
Yeah, man, of course, man. Honored to be here.
Appreciate you making that drive. Usually it's me.
I just appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you too.
Dude, so I'm curious to get like you guys' in your own words, your history of, because I know you guys are all from different areas and like the whole unity and hardcore thing is first off fucking sick, but then bringing it together like LA, OC, IE shit. How did you guys all meet? Like, what's that?
Yeah.
What's the story between how you guys all kind of got together?
You want to take the lead on it?
Yeah, I got it. So basically, during the pandemic, all of us kind of weren't playing in bands anymore. We all were in previous bands in the past, and our guitar player at the time, Adrian, basically connected all of us and was like, "Yo, I've been writing some of these songs, and I'm trying to put a band together, and I'm gonna call it Coldview." And I heard a few songs on the demo. Raw Slice was one of the songs on the demo, and I was like, dude, I was sold. I was like, dude, I heard a tempo change on there with like a two-step, and I was like, sold. Like, let's go. And I figured like with my drumming style and Adrian's guitar playing, like we can do something cool. And he told me David's like gonna be doing vocals and stuff, and so I was like, dude, let's roll. And we kind of got it going, and we were ready. And the first song we wrote was Loose Ends. And that was the first song that kind of like helped us get out there. And once we released it, it was like one of those things where it was like, oh, this song's gonna help us grow this band, break this band, and we weren't expecting the hardcore scene to be so good, how it's been and how it's grown since the pandemic. It's grown a lot, and like playing in like previous bands and stuff, we were all in like metalcore and melodic hardcore bands, so it was like we were basically just like, we just want to play music again. We don't care like about the draw or like who's gonna go to the shows. Like hardcore is a genre that we can just like get into, and like it doesn't matter how old we are or what like ethnicity we are, or like religious beliefs, or like hardcore is basically one of those genres you can go and play up until like you're 50 years old if you really want to, so that was like really appealing to me, where it's like, okay, well that's where I want to eventually end my heavy music career, is like in a hardcore band. And since we've launched the band and since like we've got it going, and to see where it's been and like how far it's gone, it's been pretty cool. And how the scenes have grown over the course of after the pandemic to where it is now, it's so cool to see. Hardcore is on the top. I feel like it's the top genre, and we're just happy to be a part of it, really.
Definitely.
Dude,
And what a fucking cool name to be like, yeah, we're starting this band. It's called Coldview.
Yeah, Coldview at the gates.
Gates.
Hey, so did you guys? So did Adrian? You said you kind of brought the band together. Did you guys know each other individually, like previously, or?
Yeah, we've all known each other for years to some capacity. Like I've played with Cam's old band when I was in my old one, and Adrian and I were actually in our old band together. So that's how like we've known each other. And then George, another one of our members, like I've known that dude since like 2009. St. Jordan too, known since like 2014, 2015. So we've all known each other for years.
Yeah, I've known George more because I used to play with his band Strength in the Struggle and Destruction of a King a lot. So bringing George in was like, I knew George more than I knew these guys. These guys just kind of like reached out to me, and over the years, like we're freaking like bros now, you know, we get drunk and do stupid shit now. And like, it's cool dynamic. Yeah, we played a few shows together back in the day.
Sick. It's like what's it called? I feel like we kind of have that with what MBR is becoming. Like we knew our guitar player Tron from To the Wind, and so when he joined, it was just like it was fun. 'Cause we toured that with his other band a ton. So him joining the band was like it was so seamless.
Yeah,
it was nice.
He's on the East Coast, right?
He's in Pacific Northwest.
Oh, Pacific Northwest. Yeah.
Sean is East Coast.
Yeah, Sean. Sean's
I was
New York.
thinking Sean.
Funny you mentioned To the Wind. Like I went in my closet and I pulled out one of their like Christmas sweaters from like 10 years ago, and I'm like, I love that band. That's probably one of my favorite melodic hardcore bands,
dude. So from that, so like there was a time when I can't remember if it was when we were all managed by Jason, but we like all had put out Christmas sweaters the same year, and MBR we brought a couple. Did we even put them out? We didn't put them out.
No.
Yeah.
There was a bag of them at the merch table, but I don't think they made the cut for the solo show. I actually saw them, and I was setting everything else up, and I turned to look for them, and they were gone. So somebody else put them back in the van.
Oh.
I'm almost positive one of my close friends still has his like MBR Christmas sweater.
Oh no way.
Yeah. I'll bug him for a picture later. I'll send it to you.
Dude, send it. Yeah, we had it. I don't even know how I had them. Like they were just in my room, and I was like, oh shit. So I put them in a bag, and we took them to the Ghost Inside show, and we didn't put them out. But,
the funniest part about setting up merch for that was, we're looking at all these shirts, and there's like one old school NBR shirt that has like the circle logo on it and all this shit, right? So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like there's a single one-off. What do you guys want to sell this for? And then I was like, but there's a shirt inside of it. And Mike goes, oh no, that's my shirt. It's my laundry. I think it ended up in there somehow. Like he had put on this white shirt and was like, "This doesn't look right," and took it off, and it ended up in the merch bin
with a shirt.
With a shirt underneath it.
Did they buy that shirt or no?
No.
No, he took it back. I was gonna sell it at a premium, like sweat worn by Mike Perez. Have you sign it?
Dude, it's one of like the 5 non-black shirts I own, so I needed to take it back.
Sick. So when you guys decided, hey, we're gonna hit the ground running, pandemic is essentially over at this point in time. Was the plan to just like we're just gonna release singles and just kind of keep the ball rolling, or was this like let's release something and put a full like record together? Or
yeah, we had our No Heaven EP pretty much all done. We
Okay.
just needed to shoot videos for it. So once we had the No Heaven EP finished, we were like, okay, we can have a consistent release strategy where we're kind of, doing the waterfall release strategy and stacking up singles and just building consistency with Spotify algorithms and stuff like that, where, hopefully our music got discovered organically, through that process. So we try to go into it strategically as possible and make sure that like we were, maximizing each single and each release. I think for the No Heaven EP, we did 4 music videos?
Yeah, I think so.
Almost every song on that EP had a music video, and Hardcore Worldwide was able to work with us, and we were able to work with them actually. And they released, I think, like almost all of those music videos and helped build a brand awareness around the band. And everything that we've done has been like strategic, and like as musicians, like we are a band that is like kind of more towards the end of our musical journey, but we're like still going as hard as we possibly can, like if we can take this band and we can like play shows with it for the rest of our music career, that's awesome. But like none of our ambitions are like, oh, let's go tour and like do this, and like try to make this the biggest band ever. It's just like trying to put out cool music and have an outlet for our art to kind of scratch that itch that we have as like artists. And once we hit the ground running with like the releases and stuff like that, we were just getting show offers, and like it kind of got overwhelming. But the first thing that we did was we started doing our own shows. So we we went to this venue in Orange County called FTG Warehouse, and we played our first show there. We were all ready to go. We prepared, and one of our guitar players had COVID that day, so we weren't able to play as like the full band, but we still just like, let's do it, man. You know, so like our guitar player at the time, Jaime, and David and Gene from Differences was our bass player at the time, and we just did it as a 4-piece, and we're just like, you know what, screw it. And it went great. The venue was packed, and like people were really receptive to it.
Like I remember seeing like all the dudes in Whirlwind just like going hard as shit in the pit right in front of us. Like big shout out to those dudes. Love those guys.
Carried Weight as well. Carried Weight played that show, and they headlined that show.
Brainless played it also.
Brainless played it. Yep. Shout out to all those guys.
I think that show kind of like is what lit the fire under our asses because seeing all the reactions, how hard people were going.
Yeah, and from there it was basically like, okay, like let's take this band and do as much as we possibly can with it. And it's been 2 years, and now we're kind of burnt out and like, oh, let's just write music again.
Dude, speaking of Brainless, that new record,
dude, solid,
rips, dude. Actually, Colby that used to play in Torture Culture is playing in Brainless now.
Oh, sick.
And they're fucking killing it right now.
Yeah, we just played with them at Chain Reaction.
Yeah,
and that was awesome.
Like all those dudes are like super well-rounded musicians. Like not a weak member in that band at all. Yeah, big respect to them too.
Where are they based out of?
Orange County, I think. I want to say like Huntington Beach, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I heard.
Do you guys consider you guys a OC band? Is that?
So the whole like unity thing that we do kind of like talk about, that's basically Southern California hardcore. You know, like there's different sections of Southern California in our opinions in different scenes. Orange County is one of those scenes, LA is one of those scenes, and Inland Empire is one of those scenes. So we kind of try to represent every area that we're all from, because we're all from different parts of Southern California. So like our song Resolute on our last EP is basically like California hardcore united kind of vibe, and you know, we kind of look ignorant in the video, but it's really just to try to show that there's unity in the hardcore scene again. Because in my opinion, before the pandemic, there just wasn't that in hardcore. It felt like kind of everybody, like at least the local scene, was kind of like divided in a way where like nobody really talked to each other. Everybody kind of waited in their vans and then came out of their vans to play the shows and stuff like that. And
which is like ridiculous, because
I hated that.
If you have everyone
too,
involved, it makes the show so much fucking cool.
Yeah. Definitely. So like going into this like this EP cycle, we wanted to make sure that we're representing unity in the scene and like trying to help cultivate a scene that has that unity aspect. And you're seeing a lot of bands out there that are like hanging out with each other and like going to shows with each other and like supporting one another and sharing each other's stuff on Instagram stories. And it's been awesome to see that, because for a long time I feel like Southern California hasn't had that.
Yeah, is that the video that starts off with like LAHC or LAHXC and then like OCHXC or whatever it is? Okay, cool.
Yeah. The whole thing is we're a Southern California hardcore band, but we're just trying to show love to every scene that's within this area. We're fans of like all the bands from this scene, and like, you know, we all grew up going to hardcore shows. That's how we all kind of fell in love with music. And like George is in our band now, and he was in Destruction of a King, and like we all went to like Destruction of King shows when we were younger. And it's just like we love that band, and to have George with us, it's like cool. You know?
Sick, yeah.
That's so sick. I think the first time I actually saw you guys play was the No Bragging Rights show at Chain, and then after that, and you guys got added on to that. Like, was it kind of last minute when you guys got added on, or were you? How did that come about? Huh?
At the NBR show?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily remember, but once
I think I saw the flyer, and like I'll be honest with you, like I was still am a big MBR fan. So like when I saw the flyer, I was like, dude, I want to play this so bad. So I reached out to David and I was like, can we hop on? And he's like, well, it's already booked. We can't really do anything else right now. And it's like, oh, that's cool. I'll still go regardless. Then he hit me up like a week later, like, actually, do you guys want to open? And I was like, shit, you know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hadn't heard you guys play before that, but to be fair, like I've been kind of disconnected from the scene for a little bit, and like to hear you guys play and hear you guys open, I was like, fuck, like this this is starting off strong. Like this is
Yeah.
this is coming out heavy.
Yeah,
dude.
anytime
Like,
we
what's-
get asked to open, we're like, oh yeah, let's set this motherfucker off.
yeah. So I was stoked on that. I was like, damn, this, okay.
Yeah, I got stuck doing. I hate doing merch, but I got stuck doing merch, and so I got to watch you guys' set, and it was cool because I remember. I think Brandon was who hit us up. I was like, hey, how do you guys feel that it's been opening the show? I was like, yeah, whatever. Checked you guys out. I was like, actually, yeah, pretty good, cool, pretty cool, pretty cool.
Shout out to Brandon Perez,
Yeah.
Condor Entertainment. That guy's been nothing but like a golden like gem. Like I can't say enough about that dude. He does so much for the bands out here in Southern California, and he's just trying to create opportunities for bands that haven't had opportunities for a long time. You know, bands like ours back in the day, like we had to go through hell just to be able to play with good bands.
Yeah.
Like you had to play like Tuesday night, 50 pre-sale, like just to be able like to play with like a like a mid-level band.
There wasn't a whole lot of opportunities for our wave of bands coming up. But Brandon and David, also Forrester, Pinup, have been nothing but like huge advocates for getting newer bands out there and like showing bands like ours to bands like your guys' band. And that's, you know, it's been an honor to play Chain Reaction. I think we played it 5 times this year. And before that, past like in my previous bands and stuff, I think I played it twice, you know, and it wasn't like how it was with Coldview. So it's been awesome, and I can't say enough about like the promoters right now in this scene.
Seriously.
This resurgence in hardcore, not just in the IE, but just in general, we're seeing so many cool bands that are coming out and that are also like kind of blurring the lines. Like you have bands that fucking like riff and have like crazy ass guitar players that shred, and then you have other bands that are like, these dudes are heavy, but they're also really, really fucking catchy, and it's just. Yeah, it's cool to see those lines being blurred.
I was just talking about that with Gabe from Darasum, and because I always tell him, like, dude, you were playing hardcore before like hardcore was cool.
Yeah.
You know? So I was like, dude, I want to be like, when like I'm getting older and stuff, I want to be like you, where you just like do this for fun, you know, and this is your thing that you come out and do. And you know, a lot of these bands right now, they blur the lines for sure. They make sure it's like still hardcore and it still feels like it's a genuine hardcore band, but they mix in deathcore, they mix in metalcore, they mix. So that's what's fun about the hardcore genre right now, is that there is room for blurring the lines, and that for us as artists coming from metalcore bands gives us an opportunity to do something cool and creative and different.
That's all I want to do. Just play metalcore.
That's all any of us
I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Honestly, yeah.
It's on how you carry yourself, really.
Dude.
It's all representation. Like
We were saying now it's all like it's all a mentality. Like you could literally be playing like As Lay Dying metalcore, and like as long as you carry yourself like a hardcore band, you're a hardcore band.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
dude.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't think it should change. Like this new wave of the scene is perfect. The only thing that can ruin it at this point is drama, you know. And I make sure to say it on stage every time I have an opportunity to say it. Like, this scene's awesome. Make sure to stay away from drama, because the scenes can continue to grow. And you know, there's a lot of originality, I feel like, in the trend. There's like, because you remember how like the old trends used to take over, and it felt like if you weren't a specific way, if you didn't dress a certain way, or if you didn't play a certain riff specific way, you weren't really a hardcore band.
Yeah.
You know, it was like almost elitist, and I feel like the new wave of hardcore is completely not like that. And like playing in San Diego with like Slow Death Promotions, and playing in Las Vegas with Uprise Promotions, like all these new promoters are doing a good job at like bringing in these new kids and kind of like teaching them the way. And seems like a lot of these kids are, I don't even know if they're kids anymore. Like they're like 20s and they're just discovering hardcore on TikTok or something. But there's like a new way of people of like discovering this music, and just like they fall in love with it, and they're coming out to the shows, which is awesome to see.
Dude, I'm you know, like I'm a huge proponent of circle pits. Like I fucking love circle pits, right? And I think it was the Desmadre show that we were at like a week or two ago. I was like watching these kids like fucking running in circles, and I'm like, this is it. I want this energy. I love this, you know?
Yeah, I made sure to get video of it and post it on Coldview, because I want to like cultivate like a scene that's open to everything.
Yeah.
Circle pitting, push pitting, like hardcore dancing, two-stepping, like, and everybody being cool with that.
Yeah.
You know, like dancing however you want to dance. It reminds me of like my scene back in the day. I grew up in, you know, Southern California, and I used to go to a church called Set Free, and we called it the Paradigm Venue. And the kids didn't really know how to dance, but like they loved it. Yeah. You know?
Dude, there's an old Creative Void music video that was filmed at Paradigm.
Yeah, I remember.
There was like the kid that was wearing the Homer Simpson mask.
Yeah.
That would like just always be in the pit, just fucking dancing and running around and shit. I was like, all right, sick.
Yeah. We considered you guys a Paradigm band for sure.
Dude.
You guys played there. I remember the one time you guys played there, I was like, Creative Void is awesome, is when nobody was coming in for your guys' set, and you guys were just like, fuck it. Like, and just started playing.
Is that when I went outside?
I don't even think you went outside. I think you were just like, I don't even care if there's 2 people in this room. We're going to rock out right now. And there was like at least 100 people outside. And you guys just started your set, didn't even say anything. You're just like, fuck it, let's go. And then everybody started pouring in because they heard like the music, and it was awesome. It was cool to see. I was doing sound for that.
Yeah. Dude, it was always the mentality of like, and I feel like I still have it now. I'm just way older and more frail. But like, I just have this mentality of like, all right, you're not going to come to me. I want to come to you. So like I would purposely find like mic cables that were as long as possible, because I knew like people don't want to get up front, or whatever the reason is, whether they don't know who you are or they're afraid to be in the pit or whatever it is. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come to you.
Yeah.
And like I couldn't rock a wireless because that just looked corny. But like I would get as long of a cable as possible, and I would just jump in the crowd. Like I don't care if people do circle pits around me, like moshing around me. I'll just be right there in the middle. And then if they're outside, I'll go to the door and I'm, what's up, guys? You gonna come inside? What's up? So, but yeah, those shows were always fun, man. Like every time we were there, every time we played there, it was like even if people didn't know who we were, eventually, like we always had a good ass time. So it was sick.
Yeah, I remember you guys came through a couple times, and then like some of them were good, some of them were bad, but you kept consistently coming, and then that's what helped you guys grow. And like people are like, Creative Void, I need to buy a shirt, I need to go out to the show, I need to make sure I'm there. And like we were seeing a lot more of attendees because of that, and so I appreciate you guys.
I remember catching you guys at 10 for 10 back in the day.
Oh, so you were at that show?
Yeah, I bought the zombie shirt and everything.
That's so cool.
You really were there.
I remember playing 10 for 10, and we opened the set, and same thing. Like people didn't know who we were. We play, and then we see people like, who is that? And they start to trickle in, and by the end of our set, we had a pretty solid crowd.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the photographer's name or what it was, but he just like, it was like the most backhanded compliment I've ever gotten. He was like, never seen an opening band be so sick. And I was like, thanks, dude.
Fuck you, man.
I appreciate that a lot. And he just like, he like was sitting there the whole time, like in the beginning, just looking at us. And then like you could tell he's like, okay. Okay. And then finally he took like 3 pictures with it, and I was like, thanks,
won him over.
Appreciate you so much.
That was the show every time his buddy Andrew had said he saw him play, and he didn't.
No. That
wasn't that show?
No. That was back in the Declare Your War days when I played in a band called Declare Your War.
Oh, shit.
We played, it was a festival with like, it was Suicide Silence, As Blood Runs Black, Whitechapel, all them at the Observatory. Forget what it was.
It was like Spring Breakdown, December Decimation. I'm trying to think of all
it was like something like that. It was back in like 2006.
Oh, okay.
Way back then.
Wow.
Wasn't Summer Slaughter, right?
I don't think it was Summer Slaughter.
Okay.
I forget what it was, but it was like a 2-day thing, and we played then. And my buddy Andrew was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm gonna come see you guys play for the first time." I was like, "Sick." And then he lied to me. He lied to me. I've known him my whole life. He lied to me. So
I like that he admitted this truth on the podcast.
yeah, like 19 years later.
At least he was honest.
So, but yeah, man, I always remember shows like at Paradigm being fun, and then we put the connection together. I didn't know you were at Class City.
Yeah, too. Yeah. Once I got done with like the Paradigm, and the relationship just didn't work out over time, and then the day after they let me go, Clash City Studios called me to be the venue manager there, and that was a huge responsibility because I went from like having very little responsibility to like kind of working with booking agents, not really knowing what I'm doing, to like, oh crap, now I got to manage this whole venue and make sure we're paying the bills, and like
it's a lot.
Yeah, so it was a huge like growing process, and there was a lot of pressure on me, and It was stressful, but we did a lot of cool things. Like, you know, we had Lionheart. Shout out Ricky for coming and playing, and bringing Lionheart out for so many times. You know, a Shipwreck Castaway helped put that place on the map. Yeah. I will say that, and shout out to Jake. You know, we were able to do some cool things, and I always just wanted to like get the scene to a point where we're seeing it be able to stand the test of time. And now with like all these new bands coming out of the IE, it's like so cool to see that they're doing the same thing that I was doing when I was younger,
right.
Like setting up the stages and, you know, making sure there's a stage snake and the PA is wired correctly, and like, do we have enough mic stands?
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole thing. And I see that in this younger scene, and I'm just like, dude, this is so cool. And I'm so glad that they carried the torch, right? The one of the shows was called the IE Revival, or Rebirth of the IE.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dude, this is it. You know, these are the kids that are going to carry the torch. And, you know, Ishiki, you know, Smoked, 909,
God awful,
harsh reality, Darsoon, still doing it. You know,
can't forget 97 minutes.
97 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember.
Well, I mean, they're our age, but still, like,
I know. Dude. Like,
shout out to those dudes.
I remember when, you know, harsh reality was my enemy's hero. Adrian's gonna hate that I brought that up, but like,
it's okay. We bring it up.
We brought it up when you came on. So
but it's cool to see those dudes still doing it, and they're still in love with it, you know, and they continue to like get involved in the scene. You know, we're always beating ourselves up because we don't go to enough shows, and like those dudes are older than us, and they're going to every show and making sure they roll out. And it's just like, man, it's cool to see things like that. And yeah, I definitely respect them and the whole scene that's coming up right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's especially seeing like people like Adrian, for example, right? Like, I remember Adrian being a kid, like
literal little kid,
some
dude.
of these shows.
I've used to pick him up.
Yeah, he was the kid that would scream "Sad Panda" at every show that No Bragging Rights played in. Now, like, you know, Harsh Reality's fucking killing it, dude. Like, it's so sick to see. And it's like, there's a part of me that's like, dude, fuck yeah, like especially seeing IE hardcore blow up, like, hell yeah, dude, like this is a wave, this is sick.
Yeah.
But what do we do to maintain this, right?
Exactly.
Like, how do we keep this going? And I think the big thing about like the venues out here, or the places that are letting people play, is that we're all a bunch of like degenerate punk rock kids. So like, and I say that as like a fucking 36-year-old, you know, like, you're gonna show up, things are gonna get broken, like there's gonna be holes in walls, things like that, and you got to find a place that understands that, realizes, like, same thing, like, you know, you'd play at venues where you're on stage, somebody gets up to stage dive, and like a security dude rushes over, like, no, don't do that, like, this is part of this, you know.
Yeah. That's what I loved about Paradigm, and, you know, growing up there, learning from there, because the church, they did understand it to a certain extent, you know, to the point where like, we got to let this thing be its thing.
Yeah.
You know, and like a lot of musicians were able to like develop their skills and get the reps that they needed to like be successful now, you know. So like, they provided a platform. So shout out Pastor Kirk and everybody at Paradigm Set Free Church for allowing us to destroy your church for so many years.
Dude, that is such a huge thing.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, you know, a lot, especially younger bands and smaller bands, like, you don't have opportunities to, like it's reps and anything. Like, you need to play. Like, that's how you get better for anything. You know, you just gotta, like, you can practice so much in your garage or whatever. Like, that's rad, but being able to get in front of people. And it's hard, especially when you're in Southern California, and it's cool when you have like a place that's like a staple, like the Paradigm was, or, you know, there's a couple spots that have come and gone, but, you know, I know we're talking about the IE a lot, but like, I felt like the IE really lost a lot of that at one point, where like venues, it was just nowhere to play, and it's really fucking cool to see all these places popping up, and then like all the bands you just mentioned, like. Yeah, it's strong. And then we have a new, you know, all the bands in the OC now, they're popping up. LA shows are insane, like stuff that I'm seeing.
Dude, it's like some of those like backyard house shows are batshit, dude.
The punk scene is just nuts right now, dude. Like, like I grew up in the Hawthorne Inglewood area, and like that whole scene was like very much like oi punk, ska, like thrash metal. And being a kid growing up in the 2000s, like they wanted nothing to do with anything remotely hardcore, like no breakdowns. It's like the kids hating on breakdowns are the same kids wearing Pantera t-shirts, which never made sense to me. But like, where was I going with this? My bad. But like the one thing I would never like see before is like you would never see a show where like you'd have like some oi punk bands playing with hardcore bands, and even if you did, like the kids would never show love to the to the other bands. Now like you go to like I see like our homies in Cinder Block playing like punk shows, and these kids are just going nuts just over here, like Circle Pits, Same thing with our boys in Jackknife. I see them playing punk shows too, and it's just like, dang, man, like I never would have thought like I would see a punk show and be like, damn, I want to play one of those. You know what I mean?
Dude, I went because their drummer also plays in Desmadre. So went out to me and my girl went out, and she was taking photos for one of those backyard shows, and I was like, dude, there's a straight punk band playing right before a fucking death metal band, and then Desmadre's playing. I'm like, this is the most like wild lineup, but I'm here for all of it. And everybody there is just pumped to be around. And I don't know if that's a symptom of like COVID and like us taking shows for granted, and now that it's back we're fucking going to everything, or if that's just like people are like, yeah, there's no more hard rules anymore. There's no more like fucking I'm only gonna see like true punk rock bands and not a hardcore band or not a metal band, whatever it is. So it's like I'm so stoked to see it, because I remember you remember playing in bands where like you're the oddball on the bill, and people don't give a to about you, or they don't watch you because you're not like everybody else.
Too melodic for the hardcore kids and too metal for the hardcore.
Yeah.
We've been there, man.
A lot of hardcore is hard.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yep, still there.
Still there.
Still there. And it's still hard.
No, respect to you dudes. And like playing with you guys at Chain, like I realized that like despite like the big tours and like the record labels and stuff like that, like you guys are still here and you're just doing it for fun at this point, and that's definitely respectable. And like that's kind of where we're at as musicians as well. This is something to do, just scratch the itch, and I can see you guys are in that point, and it's awesome to see. And I know you guys are still doing tours and stuff like that too. It's just like that doesn't seem like the main funnel for you guys anymore.
No, it's just nice to be able to do when we can. Yeah. But it's also just fun just being a fan of all this. Like this is exciting. Like I'm 40, and like this is still exciting to me. Like, like Mike and I both kind of get on each other too. We haven't been able to go as many shows as we would like, but there's a second there where we're trying to get back into it, and just want to be connected again, and it's just exciting. And I don't know who said it about how do you keep this going, and I think what you said earlier is what it is, the unity of it. Like bring, who cares if you're from LA, who cares if you're from the OC, like bringing bands together, and that whole like share swapping or whatever it is, like and I'm even loving that it's not just areas but like genres are so split. I love that.
Like one thing I thought was really cool about, we recently played Vegas, and we played like a show that was like super mixed bill. It was like death metal, like some war grind. Like it was literally just all extreme music, and you could tell the kids were just having fun the whole time. Like they'd be push pitting, and as soon as a hardcore band comes up, they'd be two-stepping, hardcore dancing. And that's one thing I really like. I felt like growing up, at least for me, I felt like you could only really like one thing. You know what I mean? Like, I remember growing up, like you were either into like hip hop or you were like a rocker kid. You know what I mean? A rocker fool. So,
rocker fool.
Did you tap your pencil?
Yeah, man, I was making beats in class. You know what I mean? I got sent to the principal's office.
I was right there with you, dude.
But yeah, man. Like I honestly, like I felt like when my old band ended, I was a little worried for the scene, because I thought like, oh man, electronic music is just gonna take over everything, and obviously there was a lot of bad that went on with COVID, but it just really just gave like a whole new life to music, and I could say I could really appreciate that. I felt like I haven't felt this way since like the early 2010s, late 2000s.
Yeah, and I can't say it enough. Just keep drama out of your scenes. It's toxic, and it's gonna destroy what is being created with all these like new DIY scenes that are coming up.
Yeah, it doesn't cost anything to show love,
Exactly. Pay attention to that more than the fucking bullshit drama.
Yeah, I feel you on that. It's definitely like I truly just hope that all this keeps going. Like,
Yeah.
And the big thing, like whether it's we get the money together and we all do it, or like somebody else does it, but just finding another staple spot.
Yeah.
For like that people are like, we need to play this spot in the IE or in Riverside or Orange County or whatever.
I think the Haven's doing a good job, but there definitely needs to be that bridge that is in the IE, because this scene's been so rich for so many years and keeping the culture of it alive.
Yeah.
Right. Like San Diego has its own thing, LA has its own thing, but there's always been that like scene in the IE that maybe sometimes gets overlooked, but people have done a really good job this past year and the year before putting this scene on the map. There's been a lot of social media moments where we broke the internet.
You can't get on Reddit without seeing someone getting like body slammed at an IE show. Like,
dude, it's
IE's back, baby.
Dude, it's crazy because right around the same time you guys started, we started Torture Culture.
Yeah.
And we like just started playing shows, dropped the EP or whatever. Did a run with them up to Pacific Northwest, and then we kind of just like stopped, right? It was just like, so we like just took a break for a year, and we fucking picked the worst year to take a break because we stopped playing, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh dude, IE hardcore, you want to get hit with a fucking trash can, come to these shows, and then all these bands are coming out of the woodworks, and I'm like, damn dude, like this is so sick, why aren't we playing right now, that type of shit. But over even just like the last 2 years, seeing all that explode is, I just keep saying it, like it's the fucking coolest thing. And it's just keep building on that, keep growing. We need another showcase, basically.
Yeah, we do.
So,
and it's due. We haven't had a staple place that's been legit for so many years. It's always been trying to like piece something together, real quick. But yeah, it's definitely time.
Was the Nitty Gritty part of the IE scene, or?
I think
it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the whole church vibe was like its own wave, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like in LA we had the Upper Room. I feel that was like our church venue, and that place was crazy. Like, I still to this day I still think that was probably some of the most violent shows I ever went to.
Yeah, the churches, dude. No joke.
That was nitty gritty for us.
For us, it was the Ship.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Ship. Dude.
Yeah, we had the Ship in Riverside.
Like going through like a window or something like that?
Yeah, our CD release show for Creative Void, somebody got thrown through a window. And the cops got called, and they tried to stop the set, and I think we finished with a generator, if I remember right. Somehow we got power back, finished our set, and then bounced.
How'd they come out of the window, or is it like dream status? And
it was like, I don't think they got thrown all the way through, but somebody got definitely pushed and cracked the window, and Then they moved shows downstairs after that, because that was like an upstairs room that was smaller.
Yeah, you can't have people like jumping out the windows from the second story, man.
The downstairs was too big.
Downstairs was huge. I saw some videos from our run over there, and it was packed out, but it was too big.
But the upper room was so much. It was like way more sick,
dude. Yeah,
we only got to play up there once.
Give me like a 250, 300 venue and pack it out versus like an 800 venue. Yeah, dude, that's it.
Yeah. Also, for the record, like not being able to play MBR, not being able to play the Clash was like hurt me. I was like, nah. And it wasn't because you, it's because us. We were like, we just were always busy. But it was like one of those things where it was like in the back of our mind, we're like, we'll play it at some point. At some point we'll play it. At some point we'll play it. And then we didn't get to.
Creative Void played our last show there.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Was that with? Oh no, that was.
It was with Shipwreck Castaway.
Was that their last show too?
I don't remember. I think Adrian was on it. My Enemy's Hero was on it too.
Yeah.
My Enemy's Hero was on that show. And I remember it was such a mess because two of our dudes were double booked that night. They also played in like a ska band. So while we were slotted to play later in the night, we played like second, and then that was it. Like that was our last show.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of like the show was fun. Like we had a good ass time, but it was also kind of like, oh fuck, like we gotta rush through this real quick and then go.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
That place could have worked. It was just the parking lot situation.
Yeah.
Because like every time we sold the parking out, the curb parking, we would have to ask the owner to open up the gate parking, and he would always try to negotiate.
Why though? Like that's it. It benefits him, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know, if there was if consistently selling out the parking lot, like it wasn't too consistent. Like it was like every maybe twice a month maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there wasn't enough relationship with the owners and them to where they can go to them and be like, hey, like, let's work a deal out, So it was always like every time it was like sold out, it was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get more heads to the door?
Yeah, that's right. I remember parking hella far.
Yeah.
That's my thing with like venues now. What's the parking situation
Yeah,
like?
the rules.
Even chain's rough to park at,
Dude,
you know what I mean?
right? That sells out quick.
Yeah.
Now they're watching Target parking lot too, so it's like you just park
You gotta
there.
risk it at Target. Shout out Target.
Yeah.
Let's park there.
Shout out Target. None of us ever park there. Ever. None of us ever park at Target.
If you're an employee at Target.
Dude, I parked there for what was it? Yeah, it was for the Smile Day, and I don't know. I was just like, you know what? Like there's a lot of cars. I'm not gonna stay long. I'll probably leave early. And like as soon as I start walking to like start making my way towards Chain, I remember seeing like a security guard. I was like, fuck, dude. Of course.
Yeah.
And thankfully I didn't get towed. But
What a time, man.
parking, venue parking. Where's the best venue parking, you think?
Currently?
Mm-hmm. Or place that I remember Showcase was always
Showcase had good parking.
had good parking.
Soma had good parking.
Yeah, someone's got good parking.
I don't know what the situation was like at the baseline.
It was like curb parking, and then like
Yeah.
we
Don't
would
park
always
on the street.
Yeah, don't park on the street. Like we'd have to share it all around Instagram, everybody to be like, we said don't park here. Like I feel like they had a lot of issues with that.
Is that venue just done now, or?
I don't know the situation honestly, but I know they're
place
not
was
doing
sick.
shows anymore. I'm still talking to Jeff and like trying to route things to him because like I developed a relationship with Jeff. Shout out Jeff, Wig Splitter. Plays for another couple bands, I forget, but shout out Jeff. He did a really good job with Baseline and getting that place going. Same with Andrea's 5.7 booking. Those guys are leading the charge with new IE, like hardcore, bringing new bands in, putting shows together, coming up with venues. They have the energy to do it, and they're going all for it. So all power to them. Like I'm just an outsider looking in basically now. I'm just kind of like wherever I can contribute, like, because like I do management, I book tours and stuff sometimes. And so I'm just like, if I can route you a band, that helps out. Like I manage a band called Decayer from Tucson, Arizona. And we had Decayer play, show was sick. And they brought out like bands from like the East Coast and like, so like anytime I can contribute to the scene now, I'm just like it's hard because like I don't want to like do bad business, I don't want to step on people's toes to where it's like shit, there was a guarantee or something like that, and it's like, oh fuck, like fuck Cameron. But I do want to contribute, and I do want to help out because I'm just passionate about it.
Yeah. What happened to, I don't know if you guys know, the like music rehearsal space in Ontario that was throwing shows for a little bit.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we played there at the NPS.
Yeah.
The Winter Rancho, or
Yeah.
It was Ontario.
Oh, it was
Or
Ontario? Okay, I don't know,
borderline,
man.
something like that.
I don't know
Yeah.
the situation either because that was more like the new wave of dudes doing things. But we played there, and it seemed like it was sick. But dude, we couldn't get everybody inside. Like they were standing outside at the door like the whole show.
Oh.
So there was a lot of like traffic trying to get inside of it, and it was very claustrophobic inside.
Gotcha.
So maybe that contributed. Maybe the owners weren't cool with trash cans being thrown.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like you said, like the new place that hopefully we find, they have to understand that's it for us. It's like ECW wrestling where we're gonna hit each other in the head with shit, but that's just how we get down.
I think it has to be somebody that understands the scene and
Yeah.
and is like ready for shit like that.
Yeah.
But I also think there's a small part of it where, like, we kind of have to respect the space too, to some extent, right?
Most definitely.
Like, don't throw a trash can at a kid who's not here to get a trash can thrown at him, who's just
Yeah, throw it at your buddies.
you know what I mean? Like, throw it at your homie, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's tough, man. It's tough because, like, we've talked about this before. We love the violence that comes with shows as long as you're a willing participant.
Yeah.
But the lines get blurred when, like, there's a kid there who's just seeing a hardcore band for the first time and he gets smoked, like,
Yeah. Or a chick gets smoked by a dude. It's just like,
yeah.
we started doing this thing where we do like all chick pits, like try to like
That's
promote
rad.
that, because dude, some of these chicks get it more than they
Yeah,
than some of the
dude.
younger guys.
Yeah.
They two-step better, they hardcore dance better, and some of these younger dudes aren't quite understanding it yet, but the chicks are leading the movement, and it's pretty cool to see.
That's rad.
I think a big part of it too is kind of like educating the younger crowd. Like we played a show one time, and you know, I was like moshing, and I just like feel somebody just punching the back of my head, and like I turn around and it's just like some little kid, and you know, my initial reaction was like I was getting ready to do something, and then I turn around and I see him. It's like, oh, this is like literally like a junior in high school. So I was like, yo, dude, don't be doing that, man, because like you're gonna do it to the wrong person, and they're gonna like, you know, let you have it.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of about like, you know, teaching etiquette, you know, and kind of like keeping that mentality of like if someone falls, pick them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go hard on your friends.
Yeah.
That's like a, you know, I think people get wrong about Mike and I.
Yeah.
I love violence, dude. Violence at shows.
You love this
fucking
shit.
love that shit. But I mean, obviously, I don't like when, you know, girls get hit or kids who don't know.
Yeah.
That's where I get bummed out, when it's like when you see someone who clearly understands what's going on and someone who doesn't.
It's a difference.
It's a bit
Yeah.
But like you said, educating when you can.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, and the leaders of like the scenes, you know, the bigger bands that are playing right now, like, you know, make sure to promote it, you know, promote the unity side of it more than the drama side of it. You know, that's why when we did Real Recognizes Real, it was like the perfect song for us to really sink our teeth into, to like bring in different bands from different areas of Southern California and show that like, hey, we're all here, we're all united, like we're all friends, like you can do this and like be, you know, have this like unified kind of like movement with each other. It doesn't have to feel like, you know, you're going to a show, you don't know the people that you're going and hanging out with. Like, make sure to go and meet people, go shake hands, go like tell people your name, you know, because like everybody's there for a reason. You know, we're all kind of casted out, kind of like thrown out of society, where it's like, well, like this is the thing that we've all found that we kind of like are, you know, gravitating towards. It's like, make friends with those people. You know, we're all fucking doing it. We all love heavy music. We all have something in common, you know.
It's just one of those things, man. The next, whatever that next venue is, we gotta make it stay.
I'm down, dude.
We gotta make it stay.
Whatever we gotta do, bro, like I'm down. I know there's a lot of other guys out there too, you know.
That's This is a whole conversation. This is a whole different podcast we could have. But I think in the meantime, I love what you guys do with the unity thing, and you know, it comes down to the bands playing too. You know, I feel like as long as everyone's getting stoked on each other, supporting each other, that's what I think kind of strengthens the scene too. You know, because the minute you start having like one band bad mouthing someone else or a scene, then like their friends take that on with them. Yeah. As opposed to being like when you're supportive of a place or a scene or a venue, anything, then that energy carries too. Yeah. You know.
Agreed. Yeah. And then, you know, we can all do better at it. You know, we can all like make a more conscious effort to get out to shows and stuff like that. You know, including myself. You know, like we in our group chat, we're constantly like putting in shows, like saying, "Hey, man, let's go out to this one. You know, let's show up and, you know, just support." You know, we just saw Darsum at Chain Reaction, and that was great. That show was badass.
Yeah,
we saw you guys there.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go to that the Lionheart show that these guys are on, and God Awful, and that lineup is stacked, dude.
Yeah, I think
it's on the 15th, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was we were added on last minute. Literally last minute. Jake sends a message to the Torture Culture group chat, which has been quiet, and he's like, "I booked us a show." I was like, "Oh, cool. When? Where? Give me dates, whatever." So, and it's tough for us because like our drummer plays in Voodoo Glow Skulls, so he's constantly on the road touring, and then, you know, I'll call Jake out. He never plays his guitar. You know? And then, you know, like, so all of us are just kind of like, we've been just sitting at home chilling. So now it's like, oh, fuck, we got to start doing this again. We got to start jamming. And I've been telling Mike, I was like, because we have a skate punk project that I'm playing guitar in. So I took a step back from vocals, and I'm like, this is nice. Like, I don't have to be up front. I don't have to do the tough guy shit for a while. And it's like, myself again. Just the fucking like running on the treadmill, getting my lungs back up. But It'll be fun, man. I'm stoked. It's gonna be a fun show.
How do you prepare for vocals? Because like I just started doing vocals, and I'm doing like backup for David.
Yeah.
And I keep freaking getting vertigo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Dude, for me it's more like making sure my lungs are back in shape than anything else.
Cardio.
You know, making sure like so he got me on to training with a the gravity elevation masks.
Altitude mask.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm.
So I'll get on the treadmill with that and then just try it. I'll go as long as I can with it, and while I'm like, I might not be fully screaming, but I'll like almost like rap the songs, right? Just so getting a pace of everything. Mm-hmm. And then it's really just about getting like my stamina going. Screaming for me it changed a little bit because from Creative Void to Torture Culture, it became more of like a...
You do more like a raw singing now.
Yeah, it's like a hardcore
yelling.
yell than anything else. But, you know, a little insider baseball, new Torture Culture is tuned lower, heavier, and more...
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it's heavier all around. So I think I'm going to go back to how it was. But in the meantime, it's just like the whole reason that came about, I don't know if I've talked about it on this podcast, is Martin from the Bang Rice was originally playing with us, helping us write. And I recorded the first song, and he was like, is there any way you can like just not sound like you? And I was like, fuck you, no. And then I was like, well, maybe it'd be kind of cool to switch it up a little bit. So there was like this period where I was just killing myself, just like learning how to scream differently and just trying to figure out how to change shit. So yeah, it's definitely been an interesting road with this band, to say the least. But
Can you just not sound like you?
Yeah, it was like the most like, you just not sound like you.
That's
thanks, Martin.
Martin
Love you.
He doesn't play around.
And then I think I even asked him, I was like, what do you mean? He's like, just don't do what you normally do. I'm like, okay.
How do you guys go about your like writing processes? Do you guys do it like all together, or is like somebody leading it?
So for the first EP, as far as Torture Culture went, it was Jake had really written most of the songs, or he had ideas for most of the songs. And that whole writing process was so weird because he was cutting my hair at the time and was like, every now and then he'd be like, oh, you want to get back into heavy music? You want to get back into hard? And I'm like, part of me was like, just don't fuck my haircut up. Like, yeah, I'll take it. But then, so he asked me, and finally he was like, just come out and jam with us one night. It's like, all right, cool. And when I came out, like Dan was in the band. Dan had like been in like Hacksaw Circumcision and a bunch of other bands. And he was in Planes Crash back in the day.
Yeah,
so
I remember.
So like, I fucking love Dan. I was like, oh, you're part of this? Sick, right? And then we went through a couple different drummers. Our homie Matt played for a while. We had this dude named Gilly playing with us for a little bit. And then, but what happened was Martin came in because we were like, we need to finish these songs. Like, we just keep fucking around and talking about it. Let's finish them. Martin came in, learned the drums for all the songs in 2 days. We were in the studio like 3 days later before he moved to Arizona at the time. Wow. So he came in, recorded all the drums. We recorded all the guitars and everything before I even like touched the pen to write vocals. So then it was like, here's all the songs, figure out what you want to do with them. And they were already recorded. So then it was like this, like, all right, let me figure out what to do with these songs. So that's pretty much how the first EP came together. And then I ended up tracking all the vocals here, but in the inside. And then we had Kelly, shout out to Kelly to mix it. And then that band, it was so weird because Torture Culture was like like, we're just gonna do this for fun. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you guys want to come up and play Northern Alliance with Lionheart as your first show? And we're like, okay,
Ricky hit
cool.
you up.
Yeah. You know, and we'd all known those dudes like from the past. And then so we go up there and play, and it was like, oh shit, this is fun. Like, let's keep doing this. So we were just playing shows, and I think the thing about Torture Culture is like our idea was just to be really selective with things. Like we didn't want to fall into like playing at the same venue every week, right?
Yeah.
And like, or like, even if you're our homies, like, we don't want to play with you every week, right? And that's not a disrespectful thing. It's just like, hey, we just want to be really picky and really selective. Sometimes too selective, and then we don't play.
Yeah.
But and so it was just like it was just supposed to be something fun, and then started doing a bunch of shit. Went up the Pacific Northwest, like played some shows. They were sick, and then it just like everybody got busy again, so it just got really quiet. So part of like Insider Baseball, part of us coming back for the 15th show, when Jake hit me, I was like, look, if we're going to do this, like we need to actually do it again. Like we're going to sit down and write a new record, come back strong, like put a video out for one of the older songs. That way people remember who we are, right?
Yeah.
Things like that. And then, you know, kind of following the same mentality that you guys are doing. Like if we're going to put out music, like we're going to put videos out for this. We're going to, it's like keep content going. And so that's kind of like now the goal for this. So December 15th will be like kind of the first time coming back in over a year.
Wow.
And then we'll just hit the ground running from there and see what's up. So
Yeah.
But the writing process now is like I'm writing, like I'm doing a bunch of guitar stuff, and me and Dan are really the ones kind of solidifying things and sending them with Jake and Steve, and then figuring out where to go from there. I'm more of a metal dude, so like a lot of like metal ass riffs that I send over get kind of shifted to more hardcore stuff, but you know,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's the challenge of it, you know, maintaining consistency.
Yeah,
you know, and like when you don't have things going on social media and then there's content gaps, and like figuring out what to do during those content gaps, it's like, do you remain radio silent, or do you like, you know, and like for us, like coming off of our No Heaven EP, we felt the pressure of like, dude, we need to like keep releasing music, because if we stop now, we're gonna lose what we've built. And like this year has been definitely a hard year for us, because we've been balancing recording, playing shows, and mixing, mastering, and releasing music, and we do it all in house.
Do you guys DIY record everything too?
DIY record everything. Yeah. Sick. This band is like the coolest project that I've been a part of any band, where we just like sit in a room and we're in front of a computer making music. It almost feels like a hip hop project at times, where it's just like, change that beat, make this, that, you know.
That's
like
sick though.
And like Jordan, our guitar player, is a mastermind. Like he does all of our stuff, and like right now we're writing for a new record, you know. We just came off of our second EP, and like there's gonna be content gaps, you know. So it's like, what do we do during that? You can tour, you know, but is touring even like the move anymore, you know?
Dude, it's getting so much more expensive for bands to tour.
Yeah.
You know, even like we kind of talked earlier before the show started about like having to rent vehicles because you guys had van issues, right? Like that stacks up. Like all of a sudden your guarantees are going towards paying for the way you got to the show. Like, that's a big deal, you know?
Yeah, trying to get in the green instead of the red is definitely a challenge if you don't have your own transportation. You know? If any bands are out there trying to tour, get your own transportation, because you know, sometimes you don't get the van you want and you're paying a little too much, and then guys like me get stuck in the back with all the gear. It's kind of sketchy.
That's your own fault for being like the only dude under 250, man.
It's that thick boy hardcore, man.
No, that's all fun.
Wait, so who you guys do such a good job of like promoting yourselves.
Thank you.
Like, is that something you guys all kind of do together, or is that one of you guys handling all that? Or
I try to handle the majority of it, but it's always everything we do, we contribute towards everything. Since I have like released so many releases under my belt with management stuff, like I'm constantly in release processes, so I see how like Spotify algorithms work, and like I'm always on the guys like, we gotta keep releasing that, you know, like even if it's like, oh dude, come on man, you know, like I'm sure they get tired of me, but
dude, it's
love you, man.
Yeah, someone has to do that job.
But
someone has to do that job.
Adrian has been a big part of like how the band is visually put out there, music video wise. Like he's been a big like advocate and like, you know, like the vision for the band. So like Adrian just left our band. You know, he has a daughter. How old's Caleb?
She just turned 2.
Yeah, she just turned 2.
Or she's actually turning 2.
Yeah, Adrian's still like a big part of our band, and like Adrian's still a part of like what we do, you know. But that's his priority, and we understand that.
Yeah, and he's still like involved in the band to some capacity, but it's just more from like like, yo man, let me get your 2 cents, and then like
because Adrian started this band, you know, this was his thing that he created in his bedroom during the pandemic. So like we respect that for sure.
And he knows he always has a place back in the band if he ever decides like, I want to play guitar again, you know.
Yeah. So like he's been visually like the guy, and he's wrote a lot of the lyrics, and like he's obviously wrote like the No Heaven EP, you know. So keeping him around is like definitely beneficial for us, to where it's like, okay, we can continue like his vision for this thing, you know, and in our own way as well, you know, artistically. Like, I can't wait to get into the next release cycle to where we can like tell a story, you know, because I feel like that's building up a release strategy. You know, you kind of like building anticipation, right? Like teaser videos or whatever, like you could fucking do a teaser video with, it's like 15 seconds of your fucking music, and it's like, check it out, this is coming out on this date, you know. But it can be so much more than that, you know. It can be more of like a more cryptic kind of like, what is this, you know, what is this story that this band's telling? That's how our No Heaven EP was kind of like, the build up to it and anticipation of it. And like, shout out to Gene of Differences, because we shot the No Heaven video in one day and edited it in one day. And he took my vision and just completely like made a whole story about it, you know. And dude, it was insane. We pulled an all-nighter and just hammer that out. But
the best part about it is we wanted a fog machine as a prop, and it was like a random month, so it's like, okay, Party City doesn't have them, it's just we couldn't get one, so we just had like two of the homies on vape duty, and
This is what I'm saying. Like, you just had somebody in the corner.
we had two people, dude, just hitting it from both corners, man. But it came out good.
amazing.
That's so sick. That's so
and
sick.
then I rigged this like trash bag like thing together because I wanted to recreate that moment in the Korn Adidas video where he's in the body bag, or like the whole band's in the body bag. So I put this like trash bag rig together, and I was like, all right, David, get in there.
My fat ass is just rolling in between trash bags, just like,
He's getting all hot and sweaty.
yeah, man. I'm wearing a windbreaker too. It's just like I got like a superfluous level of moisture just on my forehead. You know what I mean? Like,
And I had my girlfriend do his makeup and stuff, make him look dead. And yeah, and like the thing about this band is like, I always tell the guys, like, I want this to be like an outlet for your creativity, and I want everybody to be involved in that, you know. And we'll make sure the release cycle is like done right and like it's consistent. And the new EP that we just did, it was hard with doing all of it because we felt the pressure of it. We didn't need to feel like we released music, so we were finishing songs and like legit like submitting it to like Spotify for artists for editorial placement and stuff like that, and like getting it through DistroKid and like making sure like everything was worked out. We were just barely making it to where it was like a consistent release every time. So this next record, we're kind of gonna tuck ourselves away and like write the best record we can possibly write, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I love how much thought you guys put into it, because
Thank you.
A lot of bands don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's styles of doing this, and it doesn't always have to be so thought out. You know, you could just put out something and just let it be its own thing, and that if that translates, that translates, right? It's like whatever translates with an audience. And what are you trying to do as a band? You know, Ritual of Despair just put out a fucking badass single. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but
Is it the one with 97 minutes?
Yeah, check that shit out. You know, and they're doing their shit how they want to do it, and they didn't promote that shit, they just dropped it. Sometimes that works if you have a funnel of like, okay, how are people going to gravitate towards this, you know. For some bands, it's just, that's the thing, is like, how are you going to turn people's heads, right? So finding that niche and like making sure like you can go into a release process and be like, this is how we're going to turn people's heads, right? We're going to be so over the top with this, or like we're going to cater to the haters, or whatever the funnel is, you know. Like some shit works, some shit doesn't. You just gotta try shit. And I think with this past release, we were just kind of really trying shit, right? Trying to find our identity as a band, and we're still trying to find our identity as a band. But going forward, I think like we're getting there, you know. We're getting there with like what we want to accomplish and what we want to do, and like, you know, because this is like a marathon for us. This isn't a sprint. Like we're gonna be doing Coldview up until we're 40s, in our 40s, you know. Like we're gonna be around. Whether we're releasing music every year or we're releasing music every 3 years, like we're gonna be releasing music. So
just for Mike's own peace of mind, how far away is 40?
For me or for Mike?
For you.
For me, I just turned 34.
Oh, you got time.
Yeah.
You got time.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
bud.
thought you were sick. And I got to play with Ghost Inside in my 40s.
There you go,
Facts.
bro. That's fucking badass, man. I didn't get to ask you how that show go.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. Like, for them, they're celebrating, coming back from the accident, right? Like,
Yeah.
and so for us, it was kind of special for us too, because like we also got an accident that year too,
Yeah,
And
I remember that.
Yeah, so it was that feeling of it, the celebration for that, and being kind of having like a sense of just feeling grateful that like they went through something super horrific. Like we thank God we came out, like we walked out of ours, just our van was fucked up. But so yeah, being able to play a show with them, I mean, it was massive. I joked about it, but like we did a sound check while they had their VIP guests like coming in for a fan experience, and just us playing for their VIP guests. It was like like I don't know how many people were in there. It was a huge amount, but I had to literally just be like, this is the biggest crowd we've ever sound checked to. Like it's a little intimidating, just like because I'm not there. I'm not warmed up. I'm not.
You're doing your half rapping thing for.
Yeah. We're just trying to get levels, guys. We're trying to get levels. Please don't judge us. But no, it was awesome. I mean, freaking. I got to see Drain live. I hadn't seen them live before.
So sick.
Just on videos, and it's just as chaotic as it is on the videos.
Yeah. Was there a barricade?
There was.
Yeah.
It was a tiny barricade though.
Yeah, but it was enough.
Yeah.
It was enough. It was enough.
But to be fair, Soma's stage is so high that you got to climb to really get up there.
Yeah, but it could have been crazy. Could have been crazier. But no, it was so much fun, man. I was just for MBR we're very selective on what we can do just based on we're so spread out, and so it's hard to do anything.
Yeah.
And being invited out to something like this was crazy. I was a total fan.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
Texas in July.
Yeah.
Gideon, Drain, of course, Goes Inside. Just being able to watch them was just fun.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That was such a sick lineup,
dude. Yeah, and like as musicians, like we have those moments where we can just kind of sit back and be like, I'm a fan of this, and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
I got to see the Ghost Inside for free. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
And Drain and Gideon.
Yeah.
And Texas in July. It's like you can see these bands for free, but you have to play.
Yeah.
Well, how was your mental health seeing them play?
The Ghost Inside?
I'm trying to lead
You're
you into the mental health check.
mental health check. Yeah, so we do a mental health check. Mental health check is where we like checking weekly, see where we're at mentally. That way, if things are going well, maybe what's going on, or maybe if we're not going so well, maybe what's happening in our lives, or maybe what's something that we're like neglecting to do that is maybe keeping us in a funk. So, would either of you like to go first?
Right now I feel like I'm in a pretty good place of positivity, to be honest. I just got married about 2 to 3 weeks ago.
Oh, congratulations.
So yeah, I'm still riding the high off of that. But I feel like I'm trying to focus more on the positive and look more into the good in life right now, because I don't know, I felt like I was just too much of a nihilist in my early 20s, and like now I'm just trying to see like the good in everything and everyone. And it's not a very hardcore thing to say, but it's about growth, and I feel like I'm on my way.
Did that change with the wife?
I think she definitely put me on that track, but I felt like my journey was maybe started a little bit before I met her. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad that I'm able to be with someone who's kind of guiding me on my journey still.
Sick. You answered that well.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll top that, but I'm still riding the high of David's wedding too, and the hangover.
Yep.
Nah, I'm doing actually really well at this point in my life, and trying to balance all the shit that I'm trying to balance with like artist management, Coldview, family, friends. Definitely could do a better job at like reaching out to friends and being a better friend to people. I felt like this year has been one of those years where I've just been so like goal oriented, where it's like gotta accomplish this, gotta accomplish that, and kind of lost track of like, you know, hanging out and just chilling with people. So definitely something that I will get better at, you know, going into this next year and reaching out to friends.
It's fine.
Shout out Liquid Death.
It's fine. If there's anything spilled in this rug, it's Liquid Death.
You know, this year is like, this time of year is always like, because it's December, it's always like reflective, right? So it's like being grateful and showing gratitude for like the year that you had, and like looking at the moments that like were cool, you know, like even being grateful like we're getting to hang out with you guys, and like fucking we got to open up for your guys like 10-year anniversary cycles. Like that's fucking dope. You know, this band's been growing and we've been accomplishing some shit, you know, so it's like showing gratitude towards that stuff and looking towards the future and like trying to like, you know, be like, okay, what do we want to accomplish as artists and band, like, but also like balancing the like everyday life and trying to find that balance as well, you know. But yeah, overall good. I'm getting over being sick. Like this year's been like fucking a hell for me with my health. Like I've had this sinus infection that has just been lingering for like literally since summer, and it just keeps coming back, and I've been on antibiotics and off of antibiotics, and like I just get like random fevers, and it's just like been hell. But that and like trying to balance like being in shape to play drums has sucked. But I've been like pretty well since our last show at Chain Reaction, so I've been like, you know, hoping, fingers crossed, like whatever the fuck I have is like going away.
I don't know if this makes you feel better or not, but I feel like all of us had like some lingering thing, dude. Like
Really?
Since summer.
Yeah.
I was going pretty well. I was drinking baking soda and water. That's been I thought my girlfriend was fucking with me when she told me about it, and I was getting sick. Dude, no, remember I went on like that, like, dude, I did like an entire tour. Didn't get sick once. Every time I feel like I was getting sick or my throat was started to get itchy, whatever, I would drink baking soda water.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't tried that one yet.
Dude, try it.
I don't believe it.
Try it and report
I'm gonna
back.
try it. I've been using the nasal spray. Like the last time I went to the doctor, he gave me like a steroid, like a nasal steroid thing. But I mean, if I can drink baking soda, that seems a lot more.
Can I ask you something? Have you ever? What's your experience with playing live, like while drinking Gatorade?
I don't know.
I feel like it's been a godsend for me, but I feel I'm to the point now where it's like, damn, this shit's kind of a crutch. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't know what's in it, but I feel like it just stops me from like my throat going out. Like while I'm like, especially if I'm trying to, you know, hit stuff that's out of my range, like something that's super low or something.
I wonder if it's the syrup.
Maybe that's probably it.
I
Coat
mean,
your throat.
it's crazy that I don't think I've ever drank Gatorade on stage.
Try it out. I'm gonna ask you next time.
I'm curious now.
Just like do like weird hacks for your voice. Like I told Mike one time, if I'm like in the studio and I'm feeling like I'm going hoarse, powdered donuts.
Really? Okay.
And something about like the powdered sugar just coats everything and like creates extra saliva, so there's like a weird coating in your throat.
I heard recently. I heard potato chips.
Was it the salt?
I guess. I don't know.
Weird.
But that's like I forget what like famous singer does it.
I don't know.
Dude, Gatorade. I'm down to try that.
Yeah.
I love Gatorade.
I'm trying to protect my voice, man. I don't want to sound like I'm blanking on his name. The dude from 6 Feet Under, Chris Barnes. Like I just don't want to sound like that when I'm like in my 40s. You know what I mean? Like yeah.
Do you warm up before each set and stuff? And
yeah. There's I used to record with this dude named Rolly, super talented dude. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
He showed me this it's like a Aussie vocal warm up. That's what I look up every time I do it. But I've been doing it for probably about, I want to say probably close to 10 years now. And like there's a huge difference. Like if I don't do it, like I'm over here doing these weird like, you know, scales and stuff outside the venue, like and people look at me, but I'm like, dude, it makes a big difference.
It makes a huge difference. Yeah, I'd rather be embarrassed in front of a couple people that see me doing my embarrassing warm up than a room full of people and my voice cracking.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm a huge believer in preparing, like as far as like just trying to keep myself in shape or at least my voice in shape. But yeah, I'm always big on like warming up, doing a good warm up. But yeah, I think as long as you warm up, I feel like that's gonna keep you from having
Yeah.
fucked up voice.
I feel there's times where like my voice feels kind of like shit, and I do the warm up, and like I'm still able to get through the show. Like, yeah.
I've been on tours where like people will see me, like I'll be like through the tour and my voice like I'll have a night where like, I didn't sleep, so I didn't repair, but I still warm up. And people are like, oh, you shouldn't do that. You're gonna like, it's like you're like losing bullets from the chamber. I was like, nah, dude. I'm like still like I have to stay in routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried the apple cider vinegar?
I haven't done it on tour.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I've done it just in general. But
like my old band used to hate it when I would just be like, just drinking in the back of the van. It's like, yo, why like feet all of a sudden?
I didn't know that. I never thought of using that for vocals.
Yeah, like the way I would do it is like I'd get like a water bottle and pour a little bit in. Like I don't know what it is, but I guess from my understanding is like when you put a lot of your voice through like a lot of strain, something about like the bacteria that's already there like becomes like active, and that's how like a lot of the time when you like have like a big show, like sometimes you'll get sick the day after. So yeah, I think something about like the apple cider kind of just killing that bacteria kind of what helps.
That makes sense. I feel that's what I think the baking soda water is.
Oh, okay.
Because like for me, I did it as more of like flushing out my mouth, and like if I was sick, hopefully I'm flushing out that whatever. But dude, baking soda water.
Just curious, what have you guys been dealing with like sickness wise since sober?
Same as you, like
really
congestion, like weird sinus things.
Wow, you think it's just this area maybe?
I don't know. I even today, like I feel fine.
Yeah.
But for like my 9 to 5, I'm a trainer. I teach in front of a classroom.
Yeah.
And like I'll have moments where I'll feel like this weird drainage, like out of nowhere. It's all sinus shit, and I'm like, the fuck is this? I haven't even been sick or anything, but it just feels and at night too. Like I have to have one of those little Vicks, little sticks.
up the nose.
The best. It's like crack.
If I'm feeling like super congested, I'll make my own. I have like my own ghetto natty pot.
Disgusting.
That's what I do. Dude, it works though.
Don't breathe through your mouth.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jesse almost died.
Jesse almost drowned himself. But yeah, dude, I use natty pot. I flush it out, and I feel better.
Yeah.
But that baking soda water.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try that.
I haven't stuck so much shit up my nose. This has been the most like I've stuck shit up my nose in my entire life. So if I don't have to stick shit in there anymore, awesome.
Yeah, we can go down a conspiracy route.
Yeah, we could. We really could.
About why we're sick and like, dude, at this point, I'm not gonna say I know, because I don't. I have no idea what is being put in our skies. But chemtrails, dude. Like, have you guys been looking outside lately?
They're everywhere.
It's insane.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know.
I mean, I like conspiracies. I think there's definitely room for conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think those conversations are crazy. Like obviously none of us fucking know because we're not fucking scientists. But who knows, man? Who knows what's fucking up in there, and they're sprinkling down on us, and we've all had a similar sickness, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah, we've all lived here long enough that you would think allergies wouldn't really be a thing anymore.
Yeah.
But yet, they have.
Here we are.
Did you guys have COVID or anything like that?
Never officially got it.
Same.
But I'm pretty sure I just got it from this guy like a month ago. But I've always tested for it, and it was never it was never positive.
How weird.
Yeah.
So
even at the height of it, like I remember I got super sick, and it was like my lungs and stuff, and I was like, oh, this COVID for sure.
Yeah.
And I went and got tested, and I did everything. I got a chest X-ray, I got blood work done, and then they did a COVID test. And so the doctor was looking at got my blood back first, and he's like, oh, it's not gonna come up COVID.
Yeah.
And I was like, why did you say that? He's like, because you're blood type O.
yeah.
He's like, it's like rare. It's like hard for you to get it. I was like, oh, okay, sick.
Damn. You guys like aliens or anything like that?
Love
It's a good transition.
it. Welcome to Mike Questions Everything, our conspiracy podcast.
Yes.
Mike, where are you at?
Mentally, I'm doing pretty well, man. I feel like I've been trying to like lately just really focus on like what I can control and what I can't. What I can't control, I'm just letting it go. you know, or not putting energy into it. I'm trying to be. I think the idea of Thanksgiving and things like that, and I think also just like that Ghost Inside show really kind of put me in a headspace of like being grateful of like just, you know, the fact that, you know, I know life is hard, but at the end of the day I get to do this with like one of my best friends, get to have friends over to do this with us every now and then. I get to do music, which something a couple years ago I kind of thought I wouldn't have anymore, and now I'm in like 3 bands. So overcompensated a little bit.
Yeah, went a little too hard.
Yeah, but I've been able to sing a lot lately, and when I sing, that's like one of my greatest coping mechanisms for myself, and so I feel like it's kept me in a good place mentally, and stuff coming up hasn't really I don't know, taking me out. I feel like when we first started this podcast, I was in a real bad place.
You're in a real bad place.
I was in a real bad place, and every now and then my body would just crash, just because I'd be so overwhelmed with whatever was going on.
Yeah,
and I just was not being good about like the things that helped me mentally, and I was just get crashing, and I'd have a physical crash too, and I don't know. I just feel like lately, you know, like I said, singing's been great for me, and I don't know. I think having a girlfriend's been helpful in a lot of ways.
Is it?
Honestly, I know I'm an introvert, and I'm like such a homebody, and my girlfriend is an extrovert, and she just loves like to go out and like be with people.
I've never seen Mike meet so many new people.
Dude,
job,
in
Mike.
the like how many years that we've
I've
been
met
friends?
more people now than I have like touring.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's fun. She just loves people. She always wants to help out where she can, and she likes to just be involved. And I'm just like not that, but I don't know. It's been fun. I feel like I've kind of embraced it, like meeting like a whole group of people in LA, and I don't know. Normally that would like drive me nuts, but she to her credit, she's pretty good of like knowing when I'm like getting close to like a breaking point or something, and she'll just be like, "We don't have to go to this. Let's do something else. Let's just chill."
Yeah. Why don't you stay home while I do this 4-mile hike?
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm doing well.
That's good, man.
Mike, where you at?
I'm good, man. I'm pretty much kind of, you know, at that point where I feel excited about like music projects and things again. You know, we have our skate punk project, which we talk about a lot, but nobody's heard. But very soon, very, very soon. And then like just torture culture coming back, and us having torture coming.
Oh no.
Story of my life. The band coming back, and then us having a completely different approach this time around, I think is going to be like a lot more beneficial, not only for like the well-being of everybody in the band, but also just for the music in general. I think when we, you know, first dropped the EP, it was just like, let's do this and let's just play a couple shows and then call it a day. And now the mentality is different. It's like, let's have fun with our homies. Let's like do more. Let's play more. Let's write, you know, together more. So that aspect of it, I'm excited about. And then other than that, everything's been pretty chill lately. Got a little too drunk this weekend. Was throwing up Sunday morning at like 5 a.m., which I haven't done in forever. I never, yeah. And I can handle alcohol. Like I could drink a lot and drive everybody home to their destinations, and then get
Goddamn.
yeah, and be like, all right, cool. I'm up at 6 a.m. the next morning for whatever we need to do. But that like something happened Saturday night. I was wearing a Mike Tyson Christmas sweater. It said "Merry Christmas."
Different side of you came out that night.
Yeah, and that, you know, Party Mike came out, and it was just.
I love it.
So, physically, I'm recovering from that, but emotionally, I'm great. So, awesome. Well, shit. Let's get these songs for the playlist, and then if you guys are down, let's get some food and call it a day.
Yeah,
sounds good to me.
So we have this Walking Blind playlist that basically we put together on Spotify. We usually add a song. It can be any genre, anything that you've been jamming lately. For me, I'll lead off. I want to add that new Architects song that came out, Seeing Red. Have you guys heard that shit?
Yeah.
Heavy. It's dope.
Anything you want to suggest?
Add the new Ritual Despair song.
There you go. Good choice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Something from the new Brainless too, maybe.
Brainless just released something, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Ritual of Despair, Die With Nothing.
Yep.
Mike, what do you want to throw on here?
Since we're throwing up new music, let's throw in
New Zabalba.
yeah, the Place of Fear.
I knew that if I didn't pick something, you would. So I was like, all right, cool. Sick. And Zabalba. And you want to throw anything on here?
I wanted to throw on something from the new Brainless. I'm blanking on any of the track listing. My bad. They're all bangers though.
Yeah, that whole little record is cool, man.
Vitalo from Backtrack said that me and Nate look alike, but I was just like, Hispanic guys who wear hats. I'm sure in the right light, I'm sure David and I probably look similar if I had better facial hair.
I'm sure if we never cut to me on the camera for this episode, people would be like, oh, Mike's just chilling in the corner.
Dude, Mike. So I saw something on YouTube and I was like, I wonder if Mike has ever gotten this before. Has anyone ever told you that you kind of look like Russell Crowe?
No.
I see it.
Russell Crowe?
Yeah, dude. In
From
Gladiator.
Ooh. Brainless. Sorry, boys. In Gladiator?
Yeah, dude. I was watching like an interview thing with him, and it was when he was doing Gladiator. I was like, "Guy looks like Mike."
I've never paid attention.
A Filipino Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe, bro.
Filipino Crow, dude. I gotta check it out.
I'm gonna have to call you Russ for now on. Let's flip this Mike and Mike thing.
Dude, I'll take it. That's fine. At least it wasn't like the new Russell Crowe movie where he's all like overweight and angry at that person while they're driving. What was that movie where he has like road rage and tracks that lady down? Sick. You pick a Brainless?
Oh yeah,
Jam,
my bad.
you want on here?
Let's Let Loose.
All right, cool. Sick. And before we get out of here, you guys want to plug anything? You guys want to plug the
Actually, I
socials?
think something we haven't really done, which we probably should, is there a song you'd like our listeners to listen to of your guys's?
Yeah.
I'm proud to find out.
Me personally, even though it's like an older song that we released this year, I really like Resolute, and I feel like there's a message I could really stand behind, just about being true to yourself. And I feel like regardless of how you want to interpret that, I think that's a good message from everyone. Like, don't let anybody tell you who you have to be.
Sick.
Oh yeah. I'm adding both.
Both
Both of them are going on.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Sick. You guys want to plug socials or anything?
Coldview HC, Instagram. Keep up us there. We're about to launch some merch. Our merch is actually on our Spotify account now, through Shopify. So if you want to go and check out that, you can. If not, that's cool too. We'll have new music hopefully next year.
Hell yeah.
One real quick, I want to give a big shout out to our homies in Pain Spiral. They're going to be doing a lot of big stuff this coming year, so just keep a lookout for them.
Sick.
Cool.
Where are they
That's
from?
Adrian's new band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Sick. Well, for us, it's at Walking Blind Pod everywhere. WalkingBlindPod@gmail.com. We do have the GoFundMe going for the Feels on Wheels. So first off, thank you to everybody that's donated for that. We have had people that have just Zelled me and Venmoed me separate from the GoFundMe, which is sick also. So that number's creeping up. It's creeping up. We're making a little progress. It's kind of nice. And no, I haven't donated it to myself just to make it look cooler. I thought about it, but then I was like, they're gonna take my money.
Dude,
So.
I'm gonna just do real quick, dude. Just shout out to Jake, Cameron, Kelly, Ty, Grace, Jacob, Ivy, Dallas. I'll just say it. Ryan and Jordan. Thank you guys for supporting. Like, I mean, it means a lot, and we feel strongly about the Fields on Wheels and what it can potentially do. So.
And just so you guys know, we're getting close to a point where we're probably going to be able to get at least the repairs done for what has happened from the Soma run. So, yeah, it's a nice little starting
Brakes
point.
went out when I was driving. No big deal.
No big deal. The brakes just shit out on Mike. It's fine.
No fury at all.
So, yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah,
This is
Thank you
fucking
for
dope.
having
Thanks
us.
for having us, man.
We love you guys. See you guys soon. Peace.
Peace.
Back again!